Hey, what's happening, Roland? Well, today's Friday, and today is time for the weekly update. And I got all my friends with me today. There's Jimmy Houston up on the hill. This is O.T. Fears from Oklahoma. He's launching his boat. There's another guy by the name of Will Clute, and he's the head Indian guide, and we're at the Mohawk Indian reservation up here on the St. Lawrence River. And that's what's happening this week. We've had some phenomenal fishing because of Will and because of the Mohawk Indian reservation. We've now had some of the most spectacular smallmouth and largemouth fishing I've ever experienced. We've caught some days almost 100 bass a day. Well, let me just tell you about how this week started. Saturday took me all day. I did my Friday update last week. Friday took me all day to pack. I mean, I not only packed, I packed all kinds of stuff. Let me just show you some of the stuff I packed. I mean, I packed everything. Look at this, look at this, look at this deal. I packed, of course, my sunscreen. I packed my turkey calls, because another thing that Will did, Will talked to the chief of the Mohawk tribe. He's got me lined up on a turkey hunt up here in New York. Of course, I got to get a license and all that, and I'm going to do that this afternoon at Walmart. But I got my favorite Roland Martin calls built out of acacia wood out of my backyard, built out of butternut that I got from Johnny Morris's property. Anyway, I'll be doing some turkey hunting tomorrow morning. That's one thing. But let's talk about what happened Sunday. Sunday, I got on the airplane with all this stuff. I had 3 big bags. It cost me $250 worth of extra luggage. And I came down. There's Jimmy now. He's calling turkeys. He might even hunt with us in the morning. I don't know. We're going to have a good time. But listen to him. I've hunted with Jimmy a bunch. But this week we fished together. So let me talk about Sunday. I got here on Sunday. Monday morning, first thing bright and early, I got in Will Clute's boat. Now, Will, he's launching the boat right now. He's the head Indian guide. He's really a sensational fisherman. He's the only real guide up here, and he works here on the reservation. It's just a phenomenal place to fish all summer long. But not only largemouth and smallmouth, but there's beautiful walleye, there's beautiful muskie, there's beautiful pike, there's just about everything that you want. But anyway, first thing Monday morning, I got with Will. We went up to the headwaters of this river. We're in this, I forgot the name of this river. But anyway, we took these little bitty deals here. And look at this. These are little bitty, 1/8 of an ounce little jig heads on a cut down 4-inch Senko. That's a 10-pound test fluorocarbon line. And really all we did, and this is a kind of a neat deal, we just throw it out there. I know there's boats here, but I can't really probably do it. We just sit there and I just kind of jig it along like this, just slow and easy, just a slow little presentation. And those 4 and 5 pound bass would load up on it. In fact, I was doing another deal with a couple of the guys up there, and we were trying to see how many fish we could catch in 1 hour. And this is what we did. 3 of us were fishing. This was Monday morning up there at the headwaters of this river. And in 1 hour, we didn't quite get 60. We tried to get 60 in an hour, the 3 of us. We fell short. We only got 52, I think, or something. But 3 of them were over 5 pounds. It was so funny because I have a scale here. And look at this. It's a really good accurate scale. And I was taking those big fish. And I was taking these really big fish, and I'd turn the scale on. And I'd get it there. And I had 2 of these scales. And I put these big 6-pound bass, these 6-pound smallmouth bass. I knew were 6 pounds. The other guy said it was 6 pounds. Will said they were 6 pounds. We said it weighs 6 pounds. We would put them on the scale. The biggest one was 5 pounds 4 ounces. The next one was 5 pounds 3 ounces. And the next one was 5 pounds 2 ounces. Okay, so that was our 3 best fish. And we had 2 scales, and they were actually identical. How can scales be so far off? That's amazing how scales can be so wrong. I don't think the scales are wrong. I think we're just overjudging the size of the fish. And you know, without a scale, you take a bass that's say 5 1/4 pounds, a smallmouth bass, it does look 6 pounds. I'm telling you, this really told the tale. Okay, so our number 1 lure for the week were these 4-inch Senkos. And the number 1 color for the week, by the way, was the 297 green pumpkin. Okay. Well, that took me through Monday. Actually, Monday I made 3 videos. I made 3 YouTube videos. I fished the next day with Will for a while in his boat, and then on Tuesday afternoon, I got with Jimmy Houston, And Jimmy and I went out. We had a really good time. Will took us way down the reservation in a place where I'd never fished before, and only the Indian people can get in there. Only the guides like Will can take people in there. It's kind of a restricted area. But anyway, we went in there with Jimmy, and we did a great film on. He was using his spinnerbait. You know how Jimmy is, always using spinnerbait, and I was using the worm and other lures, but and I even used a chatterbait, but mainly I was using a worm. And that was a really good film. You know, with Jimmy, let me tell you about Jimmy. He talks a lot. And sometimes you have to say, he's talking. And he'll say, I'll say, Jimmy, I want to say something. Could you just let me say something? Just be quiet for just a second. And sure enough, he's a good guy. And we've done a lot of work together. We've worked a lot of businesses together. We've done a lot of film work together. And so sure enough, he'll say, sure, Roland, go ahead and say something. But then he's back talking again. But anyway, he's a wonderful guy. I love him to death. He's like my brother. But anyway, that was Tuesday. Now Wednesday, hey, who shows up but Michael Iaconelli? Mike Iaconelli is so good, out of New Jersey. He's a mad Mike. Boy, I tell you, I've done a lot of work with him. And I've fished with Mike in the tournament trail for almost 30 years. I mean, for years and years and years, we've competed against each other. And I kind of half retired now from tournament fishing, but Mike's still fishing. But anyway, we had some old time memories. I remember the first time I met Mike on the St. Johns River. We were sharing a school of bass right there at Palatka, Florida, and we were talking all about that. So that was the first time I met him. He had a big long beard then. He had this crummy little boat with about a 60 horsepower motor on it. It was something. He's come a long ways. He's done really well. And by the way, we were doing YouTube. Michael Iaconelli right now has 155,000 subscribers. I got 136,000 subscribers. Jimmy has 105,000 subscribers. So between us, we had like 500,000 or almost 400,000 subscribers of sorts. And anyway, I think we're going to have some really good YouTubes coming out of that, because I did a great video with Mike. And it's so cool. When Mike catches a fish, he just screams and hollers and yells. It's so much fun. He has so much enthusiasm. Mike is just something. But anyway, we fished, and what Michael was doing, he was showing us how to do a drop shot really well. He was kind of doing a drop shot really superb technique. I was using mainly that little rig again. I'd have to show you what that was. Yeah, this was a 7-foot medium action spinning rod with a little favorite rod and reel, and that's a little 1/8 of an ounce jig head, 10-pound test fluorocarbon. But I have the key to this. One of the keys to it is for sensitivity and feel. This is 15-pound braid, and I have a real nice knot that's tied here. It's a good nice. It's actually a double uni knot. So that's what I used a lot. Okay, then Thursday came along. Thursday was a treat and a half. You've heard of O.T. Fears. He's actually of Indian heritage as well, and he fit right in with these Mohawk people, but he's actually Cherokee. And by the way, Jimmy's wife, Chris, is half Cherokee as well. So Jimmy fits right in with the Indians as well as anybody. But anyway, with O.T. Fears yesterday, here's O.T. Fears right here in this picture. What that is that's a spinnerbait that he made up for the redfish. Now see, the redfish are a great big saltwater fish, and what the problem is when you're catching redfish, they're like 20 or 30 pounds. That one will hit this lure here, that's a big fish. You grab the lure, and then the whole spinner's kind of hanging out the side. Another redfish about that size, same size, will grab it, and they'll be tugging back and forth, and they'll break the spinnerbait apart. Something will break. The blade will break off, and the whole harness will break. Everything will break. So what we did yesterday, we took OT and we took his spinner and we rigged it up with a little trailer that he had, and man, that was the deal. We started fishing this in open water. That was kind of a neat deal. It's not very weedless, so we'd throw it out there a long ways, and we just kind of get it just under the surface of the water, maybe a foot deep. And particularly in the rocks and stuff, we started off early yesterday morning in the rocks up in the rapids, and we'd throw it in about a foot or 2 feet of water. In fact, we were throwing it so shallow we couldn't get the boat any shallower. So that was really a big deal. I'll just show you what I'm doing again. I was just throwing it down, And then sometimes in the deeper water we could kind of slow roll it, just slow it down a little bit. And that was a big deal. Anyway, that's what happened yesterday. And then yesterday afternoon we took the same deal, and that was so cool. We went down this river way down the reservation, OT and I. And what we did, we took regular big Senkos, the big 5-inch Senkos, and the spinnerbait. We fished the marsh line for a big largemouth. I caught a big 5-pound largemouth. The day before, OT had caught a couple 5-pound largemouth. And Will was down there. Will Clute was down there. In fact, he's in that boat right there. We're going to follow him down. We're going to go down there again. Anyway, Will caught 3 great big ones. He had one on her. He said it was over 7 pounds. He lost it at the boat, but he did catch a 6-pounder. So that's the kind of fish we have here on the Mohawk Indian Reservation up here in upstate New York. It's mid-May. It's turkey season. The bass are spawning. The fish are biting like crazy. Will's getting ready to go. We got to run. Hey, folks, that's what's happening in my world. A fantastic week fishing. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Hit that likes button. We'll see you again soon.